He's being detained for wearing a hoodie. Yeah, I'm not joking. He's being detained for wearing a hoodie.
It's a warm day to be wearing that jacket. You're gonna get hit by a car here. You're gonna get hit by a car here. Stop. Stop. I'm asking you to stop. I'm asking you to stop. I'm doing a traffic stop on you. You walked across the road in front of a car.
This happened in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and the officer is Jake Tyson. And according to the father, the young man has severe eczema and he wears a hoodie to protect his skin from the sun. And trust me, I understand that. My wife has severe eczema and I completely get what this young man is going through. And we have to ask, why does this cop look like a fake cop? I have to be honest, when I was sent this video, that's what I thought this was. A man impersonating a police officer. Well, apparently, he's not a fake cop. He just dresses like one. Either way, this is unacceptable.
Stop. I'm doing a traffic stop on you. You walked across the road in front of a car.
That baby was ultimately placed in handcuffs in the back of a police car because he walked across the street with a jacket on with his hood up. His father posted this. Apparently it occurred in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And his father says, today my son had his first encounter with police in Williamsport. His first encounter was this. They said he looked suspicious because he had his hood up and a jacket on. If you know me, you know I don't play about my kids. They're not out here causing trouble. At the same time, this is a lesson for both of us. I need to make sure he knows how to interact with police even when he feels he's done nothing wrong. Things can escalate fast. He ended up in handcuffs and detained because he didn't want to stop and answer questions. As a father, my job is to protect him, guide him, and prepare him for situations like this. Whether you agree with how it was handled or not, I'd rather have the conversations now than regret not having them later on. I 100% agree with the father, and this is what we have been telling you guys about. In our community, these are the type of necessary and critical conversations that we have to have with our children that other communities may not have to have. And this was this baby's first interaction with a police officer. Merely crossing the street because he had a jacket on with a hood, he looked suspicious. All these kids wear hoodies and jackets in the summertime. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And he looked suspicious just crossing the street. He claims that, he crossed right in front of a vehicle. But I don't see a crosswalk. I'm looking in the background. Was there a crosswalk that was available to him? Not sure. But it's absolutely a necessary and critical conversation that we have to have that other communities do not. And this is what we've been trying to tell you guys and make you guys understand. Whether, like he said, whether you agree with the interaction or not, we in the Black community, we have to have these conversations with our kids because this could have turned in a completely different and possibly fatal situation. We have seen it. We know that it happens. So I'm thankful that this beautiful young man is okay and that everything worked out. And now he and his father can have those conversations that they need to have. Sometimes even when having those conversations, we have learned over the years, we have seen even when we comply, sometimes it can end up deadly. And this is just an example of how a situation like that could start. And thankfully it didn't end that way. You all put your thoughts in the comments. It's Double D Mo for the Black Hero.
The video above my head is coming out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. It appears to show a teen being followed and harassed by a police officer before being placed in detention for simply wearing a hoodie with his hood up. The teen refused to stop and answer questions from the police officer that prompted the police officer to follow and harass and put him in detention, unfortunately. Now, the video that has gone viral was posted by the teen's father that expressed the only reason he was wearing a hoodie with his hood up is because he has severe condition of eczema. If you know someone with that condition, then you know. Well, they believe they were being profiled by the police officer, but the father also expressed that he's taking this in as a lesson to be learned and how him and his son can handle interactions with police. But thank God, in my personal opinion, that the teen was recording, because there's no telling what the officer would have done if the cameras weren't rolling. We all know exactly what was in the mind of that officer. Now, People are online are speculating that the video is fake, that was a fake officer. But Williamsport Borough Police came out with a statement and said the officer involved is not one of its officers. And they refer everyone to Lycoming County District Attorney's Office of Narcotics. That will explain why he was in plain clothes with shorts, a t-shirt, a vest, and his service weapons. Because I believe those people in narcotics, they get to wear whatever the hell they want at this point. So that explains why he was pretty much in plain clothes, but the video is real. Now, there's still an investigation being launched of what exactly happened and why was the teen being followed and harassed. And hopefully, at the least, you know, that police officer should be reprimanded for his actions and how he handled the whole situation, and also, at the least, issue an apology to the teen and his father.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing great wherever you are watching us from. Have you ever wondered what it feels like simply walking down the street and suddenly become a suspect? Imagine being a teenager, minding your own business, wearing a hoodie for a medical condition you can't control, only to simply have an officer decide that enough to stop you, question you, and eventually handcuff you. This isn't a movie scene, it's a real incident that has reignited a conversation many believe should have been settled long ago. Was this legitimate policing or another example of suspicion being used as excuse to target someone? Today, we are breaking down exactly what happened, why this story has sparked outrage across the country, and what it says about the relationship between law enforcement and black community. Let's dive straight into the video real quick. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. I'll be back with my commentaries.
So I found some really interesting information about the Lycoming County DA's office, specifically their, what is it called? Where does he work? The Narcotics Enforcement Unit, Tyson Havens. The officer in that video that's accosting, harassing, and then arresting a black teenager for simply walking with his hood up. Have we learned nothing? Nothing. So, in 2024, there was a lawsuit against the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, as well as Tyson Havens, that was, I'll admit, dismissed. However, it accused Officer Tyson Havens of I'm so angry, of violating a black man's Fourth Amendment right, which is the unlawful searches and seizures. Yeah, he spent 17 months in jail. 17 months in jail, only to have those charges dismissed against him, right? He spent 17 months in jail, almost a year and a half of his life. And then he goes to sue, and in the lawsuit, in a footnote by the judge dismissing the charges, it says, White alleges that Lycoming County has a policy, custom, and long-standing practice to unlawfully target, harass, arrest, and convict black males from Philadelphia that moved to the city of Williamsport. He further contends that per prison policy, certain inmates on MSMU and SMU statuses are not allowed to attend the law library if they are represented by an attorney. No. Listen. This is at least two incidences. Two so far that I've been able to find. This young teenage boy and this other black man who live in Williamsport who have been harassed by Officer Tyson Havens. And the district attorney's office has no comment yet. They need to comment. They have to comment This is ridiculous. And Tyson Havens, I'm so angry. Tyson Havens needs to be relieved of his duty. Because at the bottom of Lycoming County's website, it says the DA's office is pleased to announce that our narcotics enforcement unit, where Tyson Havens is an investigator, has been awarded a $15,000 grant from the Williamsport Lycoming Competitive Grant Program at the First Community Foundation Partnership of Pennsylvania. The grant was used to purchase body armor so that they can harass freaking teenage black boys, and a ballistic shield for the NEU detectives. These officers provide investigative aid and operation support to every county police department. So you use $15,000 to harass black boys, children. Do better. Oh, it's even worse than I thought. No. That second case that I found, that was a different case. Oh my God. There is a current case against Tyson Havens that was filed on October 14th, 2024, alleging that I live in Pennsylvania. I am so angry right now. This video is probably all over the place, but you know what? Williams court complaint. This is taken directly from it. Marijuana was discovered by an adult probation officer conducting a home visit because the woman was under supervision for a 2021 drug conviction. The officer contacted the Narcotics Enforcement Unit, the one that Havens works for, whose members, including Havens, conducted a search. The female claimed the drugs and gun did not belong to her and that Williams, the plaintiff in this current case that I'm talking about, who had access to the house and had paid the rent while she was in custody, placed them there. Havens is accused of swearing out a warrant for Williams without conducting any additional investigation, although likely aware individuals caught with drugs often lie to shift the blame to someone else. Williams was arrested 2 days later and remained jailed until March 2024. This is the gentleman that spent 17 months in jail, only to have his charges dropped. So the case I was telling you about was for a Christopher White. That one was completely dismissed. However, the current docket for the case that Mr. Williams has is that attorney Brian Bluth terminated his appearance for Tyson Havens and Lycoming County. Of course, now I don't know what that means. I would have to go through the whole docket and figure it out. And you know what? I might just do that because this is absolutely fucking wild. What do you mean? This person is still a police officer. You know what? He's a white man in America, Amber. Of course he's still a police officer and not behind bars where he belongs.
So in the city that I'm from, which is Williamsport, Pennsylvania, there's been a couple viral videos going around recently in regards to the police and their interactions with civilians in the city, particularly in the inner city. And it's got a lot of people upset, and there's a lot of feelings in regards to these videos. And I'm going to show you a couple of these videos, and I'm going to let y'all be the judge.
It's a warm day to be wearing that jacket. You're going to get hit by a car here. Stop. I'm asking you to stop. I'm doing a traffic stop on you. You walk across the road in front of a car.
Don't forget, we taxpayers. We pay your salary.
You don't pay anything for me, man.
Who don't?
You don't.
Who pays you then?
I work for free.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love it so much, man.
Work for free being corrupt. That's why you got suspended before.
Biggest corrupt cop.
The biggest corrupt cop up here. Fuck you talking.
I mean, y'all can form whatever type of opinion y'all have about those videos. My opinion is very clear, and I think my opinion is very much well shared amongst the people within the community. And at this point, I wouldn't even call it an opinion because I think we clearly just watched a violation of that young man's rights in that first video. First of all, let's start there. Harassment in both sides, in all the videos. Harassment and abuse of power and intimidation. Now I'm going to break down why I see it that way. In the first video with the young man just walking down the street, minding his own business, going about his day. The officer, who by the way is a drug task force member within the city, not even a normal officer. He's with the drug task force, detective. The officer walks up to the young man, approaches him, and says this.
It's a warm day to be wearing that jacket.
Why what that young man is wearing relative to the weather outside has anything to do with that officer, detective, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Why it has anything to do with him or has any relevance to anything, I don't know. That's a whole another conversation. The answer is it doesn't. He walks up to him and questions why he has a hoodie on. And he felt like that was a reason or need for him to be able to approach that young man. He proceeds to follow the young man, approach the young man in his little gear, his little tactical vest that I know he feels so strong about when he put on. The young man clearly doesn't want to speak to him. Clearly don't want nothing to do with him. He has no reason to speak to him. There's no lawful reason why he needs to be approaching him and speaking to him. He not doing anything to provoke him. Nothing. He just walking. And then, yeah, did the young man walk into the street and possibly interrupt a car or interrupt traffic, whatever it may be? Yeah. But let's talk about why he did that. Knowing the current state of the relationship between the civilians and the police, specifically black civilians, and the police, what human being in his situation with a cop approaching you with a tactical vest on, with all this gear and guns, with his boys behind him, approaching you and following you and walking you, would that not be scary? That's a scary thing. That's intimidating. That officer is intimidating him purposely. But when you're in those type of moments, you're scared and afraid, you don't really know how to act. He not paying attention to no fucking car. He paying attention to this cop that's following him. Why would we act like that's not a human response to something like that, considering the situation? If somebody was chasing you with a gun, would you look in the street for cars? No, you would just run. It's not saying that that's what's happening then, but it's a similar feeling in those situations. Like, you feel like you damn near getting chased. So yeah, he not thinking. He just trying to get away from you because you're following and antagonizing him. If that boy got hit by a car, that'd have been your fault. You talking about you about to get hit by a car. If that boy got hit by a car, that'd have been your fault. So, I mean, for me, that video specifically is as clear of a case of harassment and intimidation that I've seen. And trust me, y'all, I know a lot of y'all most of y'all not from where I'm from. There's plenty of videos like that, like this, that'll show you the relations between the community and the police. But did y'all notice something in particular? There's a specific theme in these videos. Not even a theme, there's a specific presence in these videos. This guy, I swear he's in every single video I see when it comes to police coming from up top. I promise you, 70% of young black males from this city has had some interaction with this cop. And this officer's name is Tyson Havens. As a matter of fact, here goes a list of some public interactions that Tyson Havens have had that turned into cases. So I'm one of them guys that believe when there's smoke, there's fire. There's clearly a pattern here. For the videos that go viral when it comes to the police harassment, he's in them. Check the cases. He's got all the cases. When it comes to the complaints, civil rights complaints, all that. It's a clear pattern here, right? This type of shit was happening with that police force since I was a child. It happened to me when I was a child. I can count how many times it's happened to me when I was a child, been harassed by this same police force. Let me hear what y'all got to say about this shit, man. Especially my people that's not from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. I want to see what y'all got to say about this.
Welcome back, guys. Every time story like this makes headlines, we are told to wait for all the facts. That's fair. Facts matters, but so does content. And once you look at the full picture, it's hard to ignore the question this incident raises. A teenager was walking through Williamsport, Pennsylvania, according to his family. He wasn't causing trouble. He wasn't running from police. He wasn't committing a violent crime. He was simply walking while wearing a hoodie. The officer approached him and immediately questioned why he was wearing a jacket on such a warm day. Think about that for a second. How many people wear hoodies because they are cold, because they like the style, because they don't want the sun on their skin? Most of us won't think twice about it. The officer also claimed the teenager crossed the street in front of a vehicle and instructed him to stop. Instead of ending with a brief conversation, the situation escalated. The teenager was eventually handcuffed and placed in the back of police vehicle after reportedly refusing to stop and answer questions. Later, his father explained something the officer never knew before making assumptions. His son suffered from severe eczema. The hoodie wasn't about hiding his identity. It was there to protect his skin from the sun. That's a detail that completely changes how many people view the encounter. Because when someone sees a hoodie and immediately assumes criminal behavior, the question becomes obvious. What exactly created the suspicion? Was it the clothing? Was it the circumstances? Or was there something else influencing that decision? These are uncomfortable questions, but they are questions people deserve answers to. Another part of this story that confused many viewers was the officer's appearance. He wasn't dressed in a traditional police uniform. Instead, he wore a plain clothes with tactical gear, leading many online to wonder whether he was even a legitimate officer. He was identified as Tyson Helvin, assigned to the Lycoming County District Attorney's Narcotics Enforcement Unit. That clarification answered one question, but it created several more. Why did a narcotics detective initiate this encounter? What level of reasonable suspicion justified stopping this teenager? And why did the interaction escalate to handcuffs? Those are questions many people are still asking. The father's response also resonated with thousands of viewers. He explained that this became another painful lesson for his son, not about breaking the law, but about surviving encounter with law enforcement. For many black families, conversation about interacting with police happen at a very young age. Parents teach their children to stay calm, keep their hands visible, avoid sudden movement, don't argue, don't raise your voice, even if they believe they have done absolutely nothing wrong. They are rooted in generations of experience where routine encounters have sometimes turned into tragic outcomes. Supporters of the officer argued that police have a difficult job. They pointed out that officers often make split-second decisions with limited information. That's true. Policing can be dangerous. Officers routinely respond to unpredictable situations, but acknowledging that reality doesn't mean every decision should escape public scrutiny. Accountability is not anti-police, it's part of building trust. If an officer has legal grounds to stop someone, that should be clearly explained. If those grounds are weak, people have every right to question them. Public confidence depends on transparency. As this incident spreads online, attention also turned towards Detective Haven's history. Some reports and public allegations referred prior civil rights controversies and lawsuits involving accusation of unlawfully targeting and arresting black men. Those allegations have fueled additional criticism, though allegations alone do not establish wrongdoing. Still, when multiple incidents generate similar public concern, many people naturally begin asking questions whether there is a border pattern that deserves examination. That's why transparency matters, investigation matters, and accountability matters. This story isn't just about one teenager, it's about trust. It's about whether people believe they will be treated fairly regardless of how they look, what they wear, or where they work. Communities and law enforcement depend on one another, but that relationship can only work when respect goes both ways. No parents want to wonder whether their child will come home because an ordinary walk turned into an unnecessary confrontation. No officer wants community to assume the worst every time a badge appears. Closing that gap requires honesty, professionalism, and a willingness to examine difficult questions even when the answers are uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, everyone deserves to feel safe, not just from crime, but during the encounters that are supposed to protect them. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this video? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. See you in my next video. For now, peace.